Welcome to Lighting the Way with Beth Green and friends. Friends will be coming on in a bit. You may have seen the title of the show, which is The Bully Billionaires Look Strong and We Look Weak. Why is that? And what to do about it? And when I say we, I mean people who are conscious, caring, and compassionate. People who are opposing the bullies and who are opposing the draconian measures that are taking place today. And this has a lot to do with why Trump was elected to begin with. I mean, let's be honest. Trump is not a very smart man. As a matter of fact, as he always says about other people, he isn't a very intelligent individual. He's kind of like, "Boo, boo." I don't know if he has an original idea or he just like finds himself with his like little chorus and he spouts whatever they spout or he does, Project 2025. But anyway, I'm not here just to insult Trump. I'm going to make a point. The point is, how did this guy get elected when we all knew what he was like last time? Well, because he looked strong and people were desperate for daddy to come home, as Tucker Carlson said, and spank the girls and take over and push those bad black people and trans people and gay people and uh, immigrants away so that we could feel powerful. So, anyway, there it is. Somehow or other, he conned people into thinking he was a very strong person. Now, why do I say that he's a very weak man? Because he has no real center. He is all over the place. He's always doing everything for effect. He is a sore loser. He has no integrity. And he will not even stand up to the bully that he's got running around running the government for him, Elon Musk. So he's a pretty weak man. Just anybody who is that vindictive, you know it from your own experience with people. Okay, so now let's say that is the case. He knew how to position himself, he knew how to make himself look strong. Now, Elizabeth said, "Boy, I want to hear this one." Thank you, Elizabeth. You will. So now, on the other hand, the Democrats look sweet and nice and caring, and they're not going to do anything for us. They can't fix the economy. They can't fix the problems. They're too busy walking around bleeding hearts, caring about immigrants, about children, about the disabled. I mean, yeah, what's wrong with these people? So, and that looks weak. Now, you've got to think about this question, don't you? Why is this big bully hole elected and the intelligent, soft spoken, thoughtful, caring people pushed to the side? So, I want to make 3 points about that. There's probably more, but I'm going to start with my three. First of all, oh my goodness, the I just got blocked. I couldn't even remember what I was going to say. The Democrats, the progressives, mostly are nice. They're nice. They're caring. I went to a meeting recently with James, as a matter of fact, who you'll be meeting later if you haven't already met him. And they said, "Oh, we really have to be more understanding of the Trump supporters, and we can't tell them anything because and I understand what they were saying. They were trying to say that we need to understand what's motivating people, but it's not that we can't tell them anything. I think that a lot of them wish we had told them even more because they're pretty miserable right now, as well as the rest of us. So it's that caringness. Now, why should caring be thought of as weak? Don't you find that interesting? But not only that, they were timid. People did not get out there and say, we need to blow this whole system up. We need to make it work for people. We need to create a society that meets the needs of people in the earth. And we're going after the billionaires. Now, there's Bernie Sanders. He had a lot of support in the day, by the way. But the rest were sort of like, yeah, well, we just, like reform and timid. And so you have this guy goes out there and blows up the whole thing with no regard to legality or morality or anything like that. And that's okay. But we can't say that we want this or demand this or we think this should be changed or that we should go after the oligarchs or go after the rich people and say, hey, income inequality is obscene. So there are, individuals like that. But in general, no, no. So do you see what I'm saying? The Democrats were timid. The progressive movement is timid. Now, why is the progressive movement timid? Part of it is because the progressive movement was attacked viciously, not once, but several times in our history. Does anybody remember the House Un-American Activities Committee that brought people in, destroyed their lives? Joseph McCarthy, Senator McCarthy, who was saying, oh, there's a conspiracy, deep state, same old nonsense, right? And they had no compunction going after people and destroying their lives, getting them fired, getting them imprisoned. They came down on anybody who was not like middle of the road, maybe liberal if you're lucky. They did that. And the communists and the socialists got pushed out of the union movement. They were usually the biggest fighters. Like, you could go to jail. And people have a memory of that. And there's a lot of prejudice against people who are anti capitalist. And it's like, oh, well, we can't look that way. We have to look like we are totally supporting the system, but we just want to tinker at the edge. So that's the first thing, is the progressive movement has been timid and can't rally around anything because somebody might say, oh, you're a socialist. So that makes us look weak. Okay. The second thing is, I want to get back to the point I was making before. Caring people look weak. Why? Now, I'm going to say something that you may or may not agree with. Caring is associated with which gender? Pick one. Now, of course, we know under Donald Trump, there are only two. But, we know that it's a lot more complicated than that. But in the stereotype of our thinking, which gender is associated with kindness, compassion, and caring? Do I hear it? Women. Did it ever occur to you that progressives look too feminine? They look like women because when the child falls, they say, come here, baby, and they kiss the boo-boo instead of saying, buck up, don't cry. Women are associated with kindness and compassion. And then there are people in the church that everybody suspects are gay anyway, right? So, they talk about that too. Some of them do. Anyway, I want you to think about that for a minute. That the bully male is what won the vote. The bully white male, of course. So if you think about that caring and being loving and compassionate make you look like a woman, and that's associated with weakness, it kind of sends chills up my spine, right? And then I want to add one more piece about this topic, because I have other things I want to talk about tonight. It's the glamorization of violence and brutality. Duh, 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 duh. Here comes John Wayne, Clint Eastwood. Okay, now they're supposed to be the good guys, but still, it's like, make my day. He didn't say, gee, I need to understand why you feel this way. It's like, I'm going to blow you up, right? And I mean, James and I try to watch television sometimes, and it's like you can't get away with it. Everybody's getting murdered, or there's a thriller, or somebody's being threatened, and there's bad guys with guns and all of this stuff. And it's totally glamorized. Instead of people saying, what is wrong with these guys? Why are they so sick that they have to walk around and bully everybody and have guns and blow people up? Instead of saying that, you say, yeah, get him, get him. So that's it. We had the entertainer, Donald Trump, and then we had the true masters behind the scenes, the Project 2025 people, the guy who is going to be probably nominated. Well, he's nominated, but will be confirmed as the Office of Budget Management, is the author of Project 2025 that Trump never heard of. No, I don't know who these people are. So he gets his ideas from other people, and then he's letting Elon Musk, who is Mr. Macho Man of the billionaires, going around firing people like Trump is, you're fired, right? So he has the same, Musk is brutal, brutal to his staff. And Trump likes that because that's who he wants to be. And with how we have glamorized and glorified violence and brutality, is it surprising that people are looking for something other than kindness and compassion and caring? So now what I'm going to say is, if we're going to change this, we have to look as strong as we are, and we have to feel as strong as we need, and we have to be as strong as we need to be in order to defeat what is happening in our nation today. I don't have to tell you that we have fascism creeping up, creeping? Is it creeping anymore? Unauthorized people taking control of the government, dismantling the government, endangering the lives of people, and we have Donald Trump being attaboy, 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 right? Musk is doing what Trump can't do, and Trump is with his ridiculous executive orders, and there is enormous resistance. And what I want to say that's good, positive, cheerful, happy news, just as they've gone out blatantly declaring war on the American people, people are beginning to say, ooh, gee, maybe he's not so good. Maybe I made a mistake. A lot of people are feeling that. 50 demonstrations today in 50 states, right? Maybe they're not huge yet. Tons of lawsuits against the government and what they're doing to dismantle the government. Democrats actually beginning to grow some courage, getting up and saying, we have to stop this. We have to do something about this. I can't say that every one of them is doing that, but some are. And what you're seeing is, you were a Palestinian in Michigan and you voted for Trump, and now you see him standing there with this idiot idea of displacing 2 million Palestinians, throwing them into more refugee camps, which nobody wants, and turning it into a golf course. Maybe this will be another one of golf, the Riviera of the Middle East. I mean, ethnic cleansing, crime against humanity. Who's going to pay for all this? Us, by the way. We're going to buy it. We're going to buy Greenland, and we're going to annex. These ideas that Trump has are not very bright. In the meantime, Elon Musk is actually doing all the dirty work for him. So what is happening is everybody is under attack. It isn't just the poor. And yes, it is a war on the poor. Oh, yeah, they've got their hands in Medicaid and Medicare and, all of the waste in Medicaid. You know what's wasted is all the money that these billionaires are getting. That's waste. Okay, so they're going to do something about that, all that waste. So that's the war on the poor. food stamps, the things that are really bankrupting our country. But it's not just the poor. And it's not just the undocumented immigrants. People who Hispanics who voted for Trump say, "What did I do? I didn't know he was going to take my wife." Legal immigrants feel threatened. Federal workers, the FBI is suing them. They want to keep their jobs. By the way, we are every day being exposed to more and more danger because the FBI isn't busy stopping hackers and spies. No, no, they're busy trying to defend their jobs. I mean, they want to fire everybody. Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's just have everybody get fired, and then nobody will be able to do anything. They'll be. Oh, they also asked the CIA to resign today. So anyway, with all of these brilliant ideas, all of this is an attack on everybody. Don't you get it? Isn't that grand? See, divide and conquer. They're not dividing us anymore. They're bringing us together. People who are demonstrating because inflation is not going down. Trump, the weak guy, backed off on his threats because people stood up to him outside of the United States. People are angry because of inflation. Trump is trying to get the Fed to acquiesce to him. He hasn't been able to do that yet. He's got the Supreme Court groveling, but hopefully even they can't go along. I mean, there's a lot of federal judges right now who are saying they're enjoining him from doing all of these things. Are they going to listen? I don't know. He still has control over the military. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He has control over the military. But there are sheriffs out there who they're saying, oh, we want the sheriffs to help the local law enforcement helping with all these deportations. And they say, we don't have the human power for that. We don't have the money. We don't have the jails. We don't have any place to put these people. These pissing off Republicans. But the Republicans are so gutless. They are so gutless that they won't stand up to him. Talk about weak. Everybody's afraid what they're going to lose their job. Elon Musk is going to primary them. Oh, their hero has finally been reelected and they know how bad he is. So we have something huge, a united cause. Throw the bums out. I am not saying we don't need to dramatically change the system. I've been talking about that for weeks. I believe we need to have a revolution in a social revolution, an economic revolution, an inner revolution, a moral revolution. So I'm not afraid to say what I'm fighting for. But we all need to start to be thinking not only to be resisting against this craziness, but also to start saying what we want and start mobilizing people around it. We need a backbone. We need to stop apologizing. We need to stop feeling inner conflict. You can be powerful and caring at the same time. Isn't that what Jesus was supposed to be? So now I'm going to bring on my friends and let's see. Here we go. First, we have Lizzie. Okay, Lizzie, is your...
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can.
Great,
Wonderful.
cool.
Wonderful. And now we have James.
Hello.
Hi there, James. And now
Glad to
we
be here.
have Todd and finally
Hey there.
Amy. Okay, everybody. So happy to have you on the show. I know I talked a long time tonight, but I had a
We
lot.
had a lot to cover.
Yes, a lot to cover. Okay, so who would like to comment on what I've been talking about? Yes, Todd.
I love what you said there, the last point you made. Can you hear me
Yes,
all right?
More than
perfect.
I'm sorry, my internet's a little spotty right now. I'm having issues again, but I'll tell you about that later. um, as long as it's working now, it's fine. So I love what you said at the end there. You can be powerful and caring at the same time. And that's what I'm trying to muster the strength. I met with a new person that's on the board of a nonprofit that I'm a part of. I'm on the board also. It's for dementia in San Diego, and she invited me to meet with her to just learn about what I do in my business and talk more about the dementia consortium is what it's called. Um, and I introduced her to like the purpose of the economy is to care for the earth, and I noticed
And the people.
she said it was inspired and the people. Yes, to care for the earth and people. I'm sorry. Yes. The purpose of the economy, the purpose of society is for care for people and the earth. And she really liked the message, but I'm realizing some people are going to be sold on the idea. She said it was inspiring, but they're not going to do anything. They're going to say, okay, that's a good idea, but I don't see how that's going to get us anywhere or whatever. So if I'm looking for an immediate response of, yeah, I want to get on board, then I'm going to throw in the towel pretty quickly. So that was a good awareness. Like, this is not a message. It may resonate strongly with some people where they say, yes, I'm on board. I want to help. Other people say, good for you, or maybe they'll say, what are you talking about? But like, that's where any revolution starts, is just by having the conversation, being willing, like you said, to be powerful and caring, and fight for that caring. I mean, she feels the same
Yes.
way. This person I met with, it's just like, but she has a 6-year-old child. I mean, she has a business. It's like people have to put it in context of their life and what they're dealing with. And some people are going to be cheering from the sidelines. Some people will be giving you the finger, and some people will be getting on board. So that was a good awareness for me to have at this stage of this conversation. Like, don't expect everyone to just go, all right, Todd, you're right. Let's go, but like, some people are going to be in all kinds of different places about it. And so that was good for me to realize. And I didn't really get that until tonight's conversation. Your conversation tonight helped me realize that. I don't know
Yeah, I
how,
don't
but
know how either,
like
but
that
I'm
awareness,
glad that it did.
it just came to me. Yeah, it just came to me like, okay, yeah. Don't hinge everything on whether people agree or like it.
Yes.
Go out, fight for it, keep talking, keep speaking, and then we'll see where it lands. We're very early in this whole process. I mean, people don't even know what all of what's going on means right now. So anyway, those are my insights.
I think that's great, Todd. Everything that you said, I think it's really great, because people are going to feel like, when you're bold and you come, when Trump was first out there talking, people said, oh, he can't be serious. Right.
Right. Right.
Sure.
That he exaggerates. That's what they
Right,
say.
he is exaggerating and all of that. But he kept saying what he wanted to do. And he is doing it, and he didn't care about hurting anybody's feelings. And we have to get to the point where we realize that people aren't necessarily going to like us, but they need to respect us. They need to respect our strength, our dedication. They need to hear the truth. And slowly, some of them will start to join us. It doesn't happen overnight, and they don't have to do anything to join. All they have to do is start thinking differently. We're not even asking people to join an organization, send us your money. That would be nice. But anyway, no, but I mean, it's like, start thinking differently. Start thinking about the purpose of the economy is to meet the needs of people and the earth, not to create more profit for billionaires. I mean, really. So who's going to go out and fight for that? Well, I'm not. Are you? So, but that's what's happening to us. That's the truth. I mean, this is war. This is war. It is a war on human beings. It's a war on people across the globe who are losing medical and food help all across because of the USAID. It is sickening how unfeeling and callous people are. It's, oh, it doesn't impact me. But see, this is the great news. If we had try to dissolve USAID, there'd be a few little ripples. But if they're taking your money, oh my God, Elon Musk is getting control over my Social Security check. Oh, I don't like that. So all of that is uniting us, and slowly our message will get across. And when we have respect for ourselves and we're not afraid to speak up and say what we really want, then people will feel that strength and that integrity. Thank you, Amy.
Well, I was reading that a judge somewhere that it said totally ended Trump's birthright craziness. That
Mm-hmm.
you can't change the law or the amendment or whatever it is.
Yes.
So that felt like, okay, somebody's standing up to him. But when I read things like the Democrats or this or that or the other person think that this or that he's doing is illegal, I'm kind of wondering, well, doesn't anybody know? Where is a group of people who knows whether things he is doing is
Oh, Amy,
or not?
there are tons of people who are on it. There have been all kinds of lawsuits. It's not just one.
Well, no, I know. Okay, I have heard that, but I just keep hearing, we think this is illegal. We think that's illegal. So,
Okay.
I guess I kind of wonder, like you say, the Democrats are coming across pretty weak. No one's really standing up and saying, this is illegal. We need to do something about it. And the thing about Karen being considered feminine and weak, that's a tough one. It's like, are you going to be sweet or are you going to be a man? That's what it is. You either man up or you care about people.
Right.
And even just doing medical evaluations for folks. I'm not even taking care of them, but I'm taken in by their energies and their upsets. And I know if I say, we need to keep going with the questions, I can't stay on this. I feel like that's being mean because I'm not caring if I'm pushing them forward from what they want to talk about. So it's kind of hard to feel like you can be strong and caring at the same time. It often feels like I have to pick one or the other.
Well, that's really good that you recognize that. And I do want to say that there are things that are clearly unconstitutional. And there are a lot of people who are saying so. And I agree with you. It is kind of like creeping up slowly. And, but the reason, I think people were in shock. People were in shock. They didn't know what to do. The Democrats are not used to going out and really fighting for anything. So to your point, but I do think that there's more and more. I mean, the FBI is suing the Trump.
Yeah, I saw that too. So I guess I'm expecting it to happen faster than it is.
Well,
and I guess it's a surprise. And I realize he's just throwing not just firecrackers, things all over the place, riling people up, pulling a whole bunch of them back, having no idea. Like you say, he's stupid. He's not just not intelligent. He is stupid. He doesn't know the impact of what he's doing. Taking people who are qualified out of departments.
Right.
And then, like you say, we're not being kept as safe as we might because the FBI is busy trying to fight with him rather than do the job they normally would do.
Or get fired. So, they're trying to fire all these people. What about the air traffic controllers that he fired? You know what I mean? So, yeah,
there's that. And then, the aid to the foreign countries. Okay, so maybe he wants to keep the money here. But as you've often said, someone gets sick in another country now because they don't have the aid and they hop on a plane over here and now it's here. There's no awareness of any impact of anything. It's upsetting how callous he is.
Yes, it is.
Fair. Yes. And so I get down about it sometimes.
Well, no, you have to get back to being strong. Now, there are times when you have to say to a client, we have to move on. You have so many people you have to take care of. You say, this is fascinating, but I'm afraid we have to move on.
Right. I have never been good at that. So this is a juncture that I have to learn how to
Exactly. And, we don't always have to. Sometimes I scream and yell, and sometimes I speak softly. But as Theodore Roosevelt said, speak softly, but carry a big stick. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt.
Yes, it was.
We don't always have to yell and scream, though there's a time for that. Sometimes we have to go out on the streets. But a lot of people are using the court systems right now and looking for other ways and starting to get onto the streets. And the Democrats tonight are going to be talking all night to try to stop the founder of Project 2025 from becoming the head of the Office of Budget Management. So some spine is growing because it's so obvious, it's so egregious, and it's so stupid.
Maybe we're sort of in a stunned place,
Yeah.
quite really seeing how ridiculous a lot of it is. It all sounds so real, and it's going to happen tomorrow, and that kind of a feeling about it, instead of this guy's just a maniac.
Well, he
And
may
luckily,
be.
there are other countries who are also going to stop him.
Well, that's right. But there are people who have quit their jobs under threat, even though it is illegal to promise them that they will get paid until September because there is no budget.
Right.
that will
So
pay
how
them.
does that happen? That's the kind of thing I look at and say, so how does it happen? If it's illegal, how does it happen then?
Well, people are fighting it. So yes. So
Okay.
I'd like to thank you for your contribution. Who'd like to share next? Yes, James.
Yes, I have some thoughts I'd like to share. One is the best way not to look weak is to not to be fearful, not to be afraid.
Yes. Or be fearful and fight anyway.
Fight anyway. Summon up the courage and fight. Fight like hell. Like you say, throw the bums out. And Trump knows what he wants. What he wants is absolute power.
That's right.
Who does he admire most in the world? Dictators. What does he want to be? A dictator. All of these moves make sense if you look at it in terms of this agency gets weakened, that agency gets weakened, and weaker and weaker and weaker. And guess what? He then has more power to dictate what happens. So we do have to fight. We have to stand up to all of this and support people who are standing up to all of this. And we have to have the courage to take on the fight. And
Yeah.
what are we fighting for? We're fighting for a different system. We're fighting for a system that takes care of everybody's needs. And it's just a travesty that we have a billionaire class, multi-billionaire class, who've been making these enormous profits off of the labor, the brain power, the technology in the hands of the brain power of the people who produce all of that wealth, that they're taken away. And meanwhile, they have been resisting unionization so that workers can have better pay and better conditions. Over 60% of workers want to have a union. Only 11% actually have a union. 11%. Why? Because they've been aggressively shot down, resisted, and then the states have passed these right to work laws where you can avoid having to have a union as a condition for getting the job or having dues for having the job. And so this gives employers a free pass not to let people have a union. Now, things like that. The wealthy and the powerful have been changing the rules of the game more and more in their favor. And this is the result. This is the result of this capitalistic system that has generated so much wealth and power in the hands of the few.
Yeah.
That the people at the people are held down. People are held in positions of having to struggle to make ends meet instead of being able to live comfortably and have a good life, have a better life.
And have the time to do something other than go to work, like go and protest. You know, Trump has been trying to gut all the consumer protection.
Of course.
A consumer actually gutting. Oh yes, environmental regulations, the water. It's just so incredibly self-destructive. But his whole perspective is it's all about money. Everything's about making money, making money. Is this going to make the most money? Because he likes to think of himself as a businessman. The fact that he went bankrupt so many times and lost so much money is, without conning and scamming people, he wants to keep proving that he's a great businessman. But that's why I'm saying he's weak and he's stupid, because if you don't have people to buy your goods, you're not selling them. So thank you, James. What about you, Lizzie?
Well, I love the message, the viewpoint that, what is happening in this country is actually bringing us all together, because so many people don't like what's happening. And I have been bringing up to people, those because in my work setting, it's not necessarily appropriate to bring it up, but I can tell which people are wanting to talk about it. They'll bring it up,
Yeah.
and I talk about, well, we really need an economy, that meets needs of people on the earth, and they're like, yes, we do.
Oh my God,
So
Lizzie.
it's I don't know if it's the area where I live that a lot of people feel that way, but it's like I want something else to share with them. Be like, okay, this is what you could go do.
Yeah.
Something concrete that people are coming together and mobilizing. I've thought about going to our revolution, but finding the time to do other things is challenging. Like you
Mhm.
said, for us to be nice to have the time to go.
Well, a lot of people are getting laid off. They're going to have plenty of time to get angry and rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not just one thing. First, we want to change people's attitudes. And so you say to people, okay, in your life, do you feel like you're in a situation where the people you're working with care about you and about everybody else? Are everybody's needs being taken care of? Is the environment being taken care of? We can start by thinking and questioning and supporting one another. It has to start with an idea. And at the same time, we need to be resisting these draconian measures that are going to cause our government to fall apart. And the Chinese are probably just sitting there laughing their heads off, as they're watching us self-destruct. I mean, we are in a very dangerous self-destructive moment of gutting the agencies that keep this country running. Now, I am not saying that I agree with everything that the government did before. I don't. I never have agreed with everything that the government did before. In fact, that's why I believe that we need to fight against the whole capitalist system. But you can talk about that and you can say, the problem is it's all about money. And that, that this is, if we ever needed to see it clearly, we're seeing it now. That it's all about the rich getting richer. And I'm really angry about it. And the one thing we all can do is contact our Congress people and say, we want you to fight like hell. You know what I'd like to see? And I would like to see every Republican who doesn't stand up to Trump thrown out of office in the next election. I don't care how nice they are. I don't care how good they are. If you are not standing up to Trump and to Elon Musk and to these people who are gutting our government, acting unconstitutionally, what kind of a conservative are you? You're a conservative? Letting this guy, a South African white guy, right, come in and barge in and knock people over and just say, I'm here. And I want to have access to all of the sensitive information. I want access to the Treasury. I want to be able to say, well, I heard Elon Musk say the other day, we just need to cancel all government regulations. And then if we discover that we need some, we can put them back.
Yeah.
You
After the
know,
horse is out of the barn, right?
yeah, I mean, exactly. We should have no regulations on pollution, on what's in the water, on monopoly, on anything, on cheating people, on discrimination.
Automobile safety.
Automobile safety. That's right. We don't need automobile safety. I read that they tried to tell the FAA, the Federal Aviation people, that they don't need to go to conferences about safety. Yeah, I mean, it's really the opposite. We've got to regulate these robber barons that are destroying our nation, and we need to bring together all of our intelligence and creativity. So that's one of the things that I think we could aim for. Get them out of office if they haven't got the balls to stand up to this complete travesty, this this overtaking of this unelected person taking over the government. I think of it as King Trump and Emperor Elon. That's the way I think of them. So that's one thing that we can do. And we can call our representative and say, we really want you to fight this. We're really angry about this. And no, we don't want to stop U.S. aid to the rest of the world because it endangers everybody. And this, no, we don't want to displace 2 million Palestinians and turn this into a real estate deal. What is wrong with you? Yeah, say that. Who's going to stop you? And if they do stop us, there'll be somebody else along the line who's going to say it. Because this could grow if we have that intention. And we keep talking about what we want and saying, why aren't we fighting for what we want? Because we've never had the guts to be unpopular. And people say bad things about us. Yes, Amy?
Well, there's a lot of nasty things being written about Trump online, and people are venting their feelings. But I decided to take a few pages from what you said a couple times ago, and I wrote, people are doing that, but don't forget you have power. You have something to say about what's going on. Millions of people voted for Kamala Harris and believe in economic equality, future of the planet, and so on. And they're still there. I wrote that in capitals. So you are not alone. Fight for this. And I got a lot of people responding, yes, thank you for saying this. Because I thought just saying nasty stuff, like I don't agree with him about this or this, is just venting.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, that's fine. Oh, yeah, that was it. I said, it's not like I don't know what it feels like to be furious. I've been there and back many times. So the trouble is, though, when we stay there, nothing gets done.
That's right. We need to go beyond resistance to revolution.
Right.
So,
and beyond reactivity and all that.
So let me ask you, revolutionaries out there who are listening, would you please share this show with your friends? And would you give us a thumbs up on YouTube and a like or a love on Facebook, because we live stream to both at the same time. Leave your comments, talk to your friends, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell, and follow us on Facebook. And come back tomorrow night. We're going to be doing music, magical improvs. James and I, the Kindred Spirits Band, we're going to be playing music, spontaneous, extemporaneous, improvised music to get centered, be calm, get courage. And that's Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And Wednesday, we'll be back here with another Lighting the Way. And I never know what I'm going to talk about because this is a fast-moving train.
Sure is.
But remember that if women were not being denigrated, then being caring and compassionate might be respected. And we need to point that out. There's nothing wrong. It's not weak to care. It's weak to not care and to be selfish, self-centered, and brutal.
Because that's like a 2-year-old.
That's
basically.
right. Exactly. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for being with me tonight.
Thank you.
We love you.